Hello, this is Geometry, topic 1-6. Today we're going to talk about the effects of changing dimensions on area. So let's start off. When we want to find the area of this rectangle, we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So that would mean that this is x, 2x, and x on the square root of 3. So if that is 8, that means that this one is 4, and this is 4 on the square root of 3. To find our area, we just multiply 4 times 4 on the square root of 3, and we get 16 on the square root of 3. So that's important. We're going to go ahead and write that 16 on the square root of 3 for the rest of these. And we're going to see what happens. So our original width was 4, and our original length was 4 on the square root of 3. So if I change my width to be twice as long, that means it's going to be 8, and the length twice as long, 8 on the square root of 3. We do that again, we get 8 times 8 is 64 on the square root of 3. And so our new over the original would be 64 square root of 3 over 4 over 16 square root of 3, which is 4. Here, our length, we want that to our width, we want that to stay the same. Our length, we want to be 3 times as long, so 4 times 3 makes 12 on the square root of 3. So that means 12 times 4 is 48. So we have 48 on the square root of 3. And so 48 on the square root of 3 divided by 16 on the square root of 3 equals 3. Let's go ahead and look at this next one. We want this one to be 4 times as long. So 4 times 4 is 16. Half as long, that means 2 on the square root of 3. That means 32 on the square root of 3. And if we do 32 square root of 3 over 16 square root of 3, we get 2. And our last example, 1/4. So 4, 1/4 of 4 is 1. Twice, I mean that needs to be 8 square root of 3. Gives us 8 square root of 3. And if I do 8 square root of 3 over 16 square root of 3, I get 1/2. So let's take a look and see what we have. Twice as long, the area is 4 times as big. Stay the same, 3 times as long, our area is 3 times as big. 4 times, half times is 2. 1/4 times 2 is a half. I want you to notice that if I multiply the change in width by the change in length, you get the change in area. So instead of going, well, twice 4 is 8, and twice 4 is 8, and 8 times 8 is 64, and then 64 over 16 is 4, I could have just done, well, times 2 and times 2 is times 4. So instead of figuring out my new numbers to my new area, I could have just done 16 times 2 times 2 to get 64. And 16 times 1 times 3 is 48. And 16 times 4 times a half is 32. And 16 times a fourth times twice is 8. So instead of figuring out my new width and length, I can just multiply by how much they change. Let's go ahead and apply this. So the area of an equilateral triangle is 36 on the square root of 3. What would be the new area if the base is doubled? So that means times 2. And the height is tripled, times 3. Well, we do 36 times 2 times 3, and we get 216 on the square root of 3. Very simple. Example number 5. The area of a rhombus is 40 square inches. Okay. One diagonal is halved, so it means we multiply by half. And the other diagonal was doubled. It means we multiply by 2. So 40 times a half is 20, times 2 is 40. And so our rhombus is actually the same size. One more quick example. Here we've got the area of a triangle is 36. It doesn't even matter what kind of triangle it is. This triangle has an area of 36. The height is 3 times as long, so we're going to multiply by 3. And the base is 4 times as long, so we're going to multiply by 4. What's the new triangle? We do 36 times 3 times 4. And we get 432. And this would be in millimeters squared. Number 5 would have been in inches squared. And number 4 is in meters squared. So, very simple. All you have to do is multiply by what's changing. Now, if they say that the dimensions, plural, that means you have to multiply twice. And that's if it's area. Because dimensions means I change the height and the base. Okay? So, look out for that. That wasn't covered here in the notes. It may show up in your assignment. So, very easy assignment today. Should be the easiest of the whole lesson. Good luck on it, and have a good day.